I don't think so that it's so much isolated. Wanted or not, artists unconsciously deal with identity in many ways, and Pavilion of Bosnia, named Garden of the Lights, was actually dealing with the pluralism of identities, because idea of garden, it's idea of differences and the idea of beauty of differences. So maybe the other pavilions were dealing with particular singular identities, and the Bosnian pavilion was dealing how all those identities are function or non-function together, and how it's important to actually accept the others, let's say, identities around us. The basic idea, it was like that primer thing was that they do, that they produce the art, because that was the document of this process of subliming. It was actually, by medical term, call it occupational therapy, where you occupy the patient with some physical and mental work to don't think about this, what exactly is going on around him. So those paintings, those sculptures after the workshop were finished in a collection of this Disabled People Union, and all works were later on given on auctions, where the money sold from them was given back to authors. So it was not only that they create something, they participate in some event, which was some kind of focus or something like is going on later on again, but also that they have more usable practical satisfaction if the work was sold later on. Okay. As I said on the lecture, I think that it's a very important moment that artists recognize, and not only recognize, but also to map those transformations and transitions of the society, like this one was. To give one huge military space in the center of the city to the university, it was, I think, one of the best moves what country did after the war. It was also some kind of formal social sign of demilitarization of the society. Like that you say, okay, now we really want to stop, and we prove you this with a practical move. And that practical move, by coincidence, coincided with my own personal changes also in a position as an artist and being a soldier. So those transformations, I think, were good sign for the future development of the society.
Okay, but it was an isolated case, or it's an habit to take military ground and...
Gladly and happily, it's not isolated case. For example, the Academy of Arts in Rijeka, it's also an ex-military base. In Osijek as well. I heard also a few other cities, so we later on were speaking about that maybe we made some joint exhibition from all artists who finished the studies in ex-military barracks. And not only giving to the art academies or universities, there is, of course, still military used spaces, but slowly, one by one, because they are very heavy courage on the budget of the state. It's really ruins now after the war. It's almost 20 years, so it's very hard to sustain this system. For example, another good example is Konjic, Tito's bunker made for the possible nuclear attack. Nobody knew that it exists till the last 90s war, and they discovered it on a 95 when the war was done, that Tito built a bunker a few thousand square meters under the ground in central Bosnia, was prepared to handle 320 people from the political and military top of Yugoslavia in case of attack by nuclear weapon. And now it's given to the art and it's organized the huge biennial of contemporary art, call it DO Underground, in that bunker. So it's really international. Every next 2 years is invited another international curator to curate exhibition there, and that's also one proof of those changes.